Wow, there you go. You see the little red dot blinking? That means we're recording. Okay, beautiful. Every time, folks, you'll notice from time to time when I actually post a training on the Active Team Training channel on YouTube, you'll notice the resolution might vary from time to time. And that's because when the resolution is not so high, that's because I forgot to record it and I took it from the Facebook Live. So the conversion is not always that great. So thank you for Tammy for reminding me. Now this evening is a really really important training, folks, and you'll find that it is not complicated stuff. It's common sense. It really is. And the point here is, and the reason why Tommy are doing this training is, first of all, it's a permanent record that will be online for, well, as long as YouTube exists, I guess, forever. And for you to be able to come back to it. And that's what's important. And your feedback is really important. I know sometimes people think that their comments don't matter. You have no idea how much your comments matters to us, because you give us a sense of direction and also a sense of pride if you're happy with what we do. And it also kind of gives us some indication of what we should improve upon or things that you would like to hear. I mean, sometimes it comes across through the comments. But in saying that, the training this evening is very important in a way that these are things that you need to be aware of and you need to start applying yourself, and not just relying on your upline leaders and or the team that you're part of, because I mean the team is always going to be providing support, information. I mean, you can rely on that 100%. But if you want to earn a significant income with Max International, or anything you do in the nature of the business that we're in, you need to create the culture and we'll cover some of those things that are important to talk about or to implement on this training. What are your thoughts, Tammy, before we begin?
I'm ready to get started, Chris.
Okay, sounds good. So key strategies to become top earners. And as you're aware of, guys, I mean, Tammy and I have always been quite high up in the archaeology of network marketing. Even before Max International, the other company that we're part of, we also were in the top. Tammy and I separately were in top income earners in this company. And there's reasons for this. It's not luck, right? At one point, I was talking to an owner by the name of Joel, who owns some kind of an internet service provider, and also some kind of a chat room called the Hot Conference. He used to live in Quebec, and I think he moved in the United States. I forgot the exact
In
location.
Texas. Yeah, I
In
think he's in
Texas.
Austin.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I met with him, and he was telling me, how come you're able to build twice a big organization? And what we're about to share with you this evening is really the answer to that question. So I hope that you're paying attention. Don't worry so much about taking notes. Again, you can go back to the recording, you can listen to them, and it's not complicated stuff. But these are things that we need to implement, and often as we implement them or we want to implement them, it might not be so obvious because it might clash with your personality. It might be a little bit of an environment that's a bit outside of your comfort zone that you may have to adjust to. Okay, so but again, this really depends on you. We're here to tell you what we have done. We don't have the holy grail of answers. You do understand that. But we do have some answers based on the fact that twice we've built a very big organization. And again, the information we'll share with you has been instrumental for us to have the success that we currently have. So let me, on the first slide here, here's something that's extremely important. And Tammy, I know sometimes you kind of look at me and roll your eyes when I say, let's do a compensation plan. Let's do another compensation plan training. And I can appreciate why, because I mean, it is not what people want to hear. But on that slide is something that I want you to pay attention to. Clarity is one of the most critical steps to success. So what you teach has to be simple and clear steps. And the thing is, the word KISS, keep it simple, There's another word for the S. I don't want to say it online, but I think many of you know it. You can type it on the chat section if you know it. I'm not going to say it, but keep it simple and S. Okay, that's what KISS means. And this is not, this is all as far as I
Keep
can
it simple,
remember.
simple.
You can do that. You can simply say that. And the thing is, folks, you need to write things down. Now I know tonight I say don't focus on what we're sharing this evening. I don't want you to spend too much time taking notes, but if there's something that we share that makes sense to you, that resonates to you, or for you it might be a bit of an aha moment. Oh, you know what? I never thought of it that way. Write it down. Okay, so this is what I mean is you need to write down information for you to be able to go back to. Or if you happen to be watching this training again, and I suggest you watch it a few times, write things down, because sometimes I may say something that has absolutely zero meaning at the moment, but once you start living through life and building your business and you're coming across some scenarios, something that you're going to hear, even you heard years ago, may make complete sense, because now you have the experience in visualizing and living through some of those experiences. Okay? Go ahead, Tammy.
We really have a simple process in building this business model. Every single one of you have the action sheet that shares a 5 simple steps, and that repeated and duplicated will replicate throughout your organization. And the key is for you to do it first. When you achieve all of those steps, then you can certainly teach it. So the key, like Chris said, it is clarity. When things are clear, it's easier to move forward. When it's not clear, people are wandering all over the place, or they just take a step back. And on the bottom, I like that quote, Chris, because you do learn more when you're out there doing it. You'll get the clarity when you're out there doing the actions. A lot of people say, well, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Well, just go do something, and you're going to learn from the process. You can't keep telling yourself you don't know how to do it. It's follow the system. It works. I mean, Chris and I followed this system before we even taught it. We learned this from other leaders before our times. And it's important to go out there and take action every single day. Even if it's something small, do something small. It'll make you feel good about what you've done. The next day, go out and do it again. The next day, go out and do it again. And I'm telling you, you're going to start seeing some traction. And it's not easy when you're stuck in a comfort zone. I know that is obviously the place where people want is comfort, right? But they also want to make money. And it's kind of like, you got to get out of comfort zone to be able to go and make those changes for your family. So clarity is really key. Confusion will definitely slow down your business. The tools are there. Go and get the tool. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Max Action sheet, the Max Action Plan, the MAP, go to Active Team. It's right there. When you go to Active Team under the resources, under documents, Canada, US, go under New Associate Orientation folder. It's there. Everything is laid out for you. So that's the clear steps in building this business. Okay.
And you're seeing this couple here. I don't know if you remember when before Google Map and that we have on our cell phone, you just put in your car and you plug in your destination and it's all done for you, nice and simple. There's no thinking. But I remember when I had this map, and I remember the very first time I opened one, I was not used to it, right? And then you have to kind of figure out exactly the letters. There was letters on the side and numbers on the bottom. I forgot the exact details. It's been years I didn't open a map. And you see this couple, and I remember years ago going to Florida. It was my late teens, and I was excited, and I was driving to Florida. I was a little scared because I never really got out of my province, to be honest with you. And here I am going to a different country in a different state all by myself. And well, I think I was with my brother and some friends. But the fact here is I remember I had this map, right? And at one point we did a wrong turn, and you're sitting there and everything stops. And that's why I've used this slide to really illustrate that this is really what happens in your business. This is what happens in your downlines organization. When people don't know where to go to get information on understanding the comp plan, or where to go to what are the first step I need to do? What do I need to do to make money? I need to make money yesterday. What do I need to do? And when people are confused, they tend to stand still and they wait and they wait and they wait. And if they wait too long, what happens is that the motivation, the interest starts declining, right? And often what happens is they never really start, and then they go missing in action. They made a wonderful donation to Max International. I say donation because they went ahead, they paid, they got their package, they got the product just arrived, but they lost interest, they lost motivation. So it's really important that right from the start that there is clarity. And that's the reason why Tammy and I are so adamant about duplicatable system and having a site that the team can rely on to be able to follow through. So in moving on to the next slide is what matters in our business. See, Tammy and I have been training people for a long time, for years. And in a few years, maybe about 3 years, it's going to be about 2 decades. You know what I mean? Let me think about this. I've been full-time for 28 years. Excuse me. It's going to be 3 decades, over 30 years, in about 3 or 4 years from now. And I'm telling you that what's really, really important is to never lose sight of what you did when you started your business. See, some of you, and I know some of you listening, may catch the recording a little later, and you've reached diamond levels, double diamond levels. Some of you crown diamonds. I know I've mentored you, right? Some of you are silvers and golds and platinum, and maybe you hit a peak rank at one point, and you did all the right activities, but then you stopped doing those activities. In our business, what matters is talking to people, talking to new people. And for that, on the slide here, you can see that you have these main activities: prospecting, inviting, and following up. These are critical. And I know that sometimes we tend to put a lot of pressure on ourselves to try to get someone to come into the business. And we fear talking to someone in fear that he may say no. And that is the reason why we stop prospecting, in the fear of that person may turn around and look at me funny, or whatever the situation may be. So what's important here is, if you want to earn an income in this kind of business, we're talking about prospecting, inviting, and following up. These are the main aspect. Understand that when I say inviting, following up, in between that, there is a presentation. Absolutely. The presentation has to be around there somewhere so you can follow up. But you can also follow up to invite them to come and see a presentation. And this is the reason why we're so adamant about having regular presentations on a weekly basis. And I salute you that are doing your presentation on a regular basis. And the reason for that is people are creatures of habits. And if they see you regularly presenting, it becomes a habit. And they will be aware of your presentation, knowing that you're always there. You may turn around and one of those days, they start inviting a prospect. And this prospect may become an associate for them because of your presentation. And again, it might be in your own downline. So that's why the weekly presentation schedule is absolutely critical. Critical. Because if you miss one session and someone you didn't expect to show up shows up, nobody's there, you just lost that congruency to drive you into momentum. So if you go to activeteamtraining.com, there's a playlist there. There's many playlists, right? There's the Go for Diamond webinars and all of these, they're there. But if you go, excuse me, if you go to the bottom, you'll notice that there's one that says Success Cycle. And the Success Cycle contains all the elements about your why. First of all, the Success Cycle itself envelopes all of the trainings and gives you a right environment for your new associate. Again, what was the very first slide we shared? Clarity. When I went to Ghana 7 or 8 years ago now, close between 7 or 8 years, and it was December December 10th or something like that in 2013, I believe. I believe that was correct, Tammy. And the very first thing I did is I did a training based on exactly these modules over here. Okay? And it was on attitude. This one over here. Okay, attitude. Why? Because over the years I found that if you set the mindset properly, then when the challenge arrives, they're prepared for it and they know how to handle it. And I did other trainings. I forgot the order of what I did, but then it was prospecting, there was inviting, there was following up, and they were eating the information right up. And because they were properly organized with consistent information, they ran with it. And as you know, diamonds started popping like popcorns. So there's a reason why this happens. There's a reason why there's momentum. So that has this is it here. And never lose sight of the basic activities that are very important. Some of you have a bit of an organization and you may fall into management mode really too quickly. Right? And it's normal that some people may just fall off. It's just the nature of human beings. So even Tammy and I constantly, just this morning, I did a presentation and I did two more yesterday. And I'm talking to perfect strangers that don't know me from Adam. And the key is to consistently presenting, sharing, prospecting, inviting, following up. I cannot stress this enough. Okay? I think that's the coffee machine, Tammy. Okay. Do you have anything you want to add to this?
We're in the network marketing profession, and the key is to be a professional in our industry. And we all know Eric Worre, GoPro, and that's the key is to go professional in our profession. Well, when you break down the network marketing concept, what are we doing? Well, we're networking. We're talking to people constantly. This is what we do. If you're stuck at home, there's lots of opportunity to network. There's no excuse not to connect with people because there's people all over social media. That's probably the easiest platform to connect with people. And really, it doesn't make a huge difference if they reject you. It's always more painful when somebody you know and cares about rejects you, but they're actually not rejecting you. They're rejecting the opportunity, or maybe the timing's not right for them at that time. So we got to be out there constantly networking. This is what we do, and marketing is Max. It's our products. It's our opportunity to transform people's lives. And if you feel that this is difficult, then you just got to go out and do it. Honestly, it's not difficult, and it's all personal development and what you see in yourself. And that's a whole other training, is belief in yourself. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, what's important, I can tell you, when I first started network marketing, I had no idea what I was doing, but I did know something. I wanted to be home with my kids. I had a huge why. I was always away from my family, and I was going to do whatever it took. And I remember my very first list, I blew it, the whole list. Everybody thought I was insane. What do you do in this industry? Blah, blah, blah. I had to go to cold market. And actually, honestly, the cold market for me was a lot easier because I didn't care if they didn't see it or not. I was looking for people who was actually looking for something, somebody who wanted to make a difference in their family, somebody who wanted to have more than what they already have. So the key is to be out there constantly networking, okay? In the time that you're building your Max business, or do Max while you do life. Because some people say, I just don't have the time. I got activities with the kids. Yeah, but when you have activities with the kids, are there people around? Yes. Well, network. That's what we do. When you're in the grocery store, there's always somebody standing around looking at the fresh fruits. Network, talk to people. That's what we do in our profession. And you connect with people and see where it goes from there. I know that all of you do this. The key is how much time are you doing it? That's what's important. Because if you want results, you gotta do it more often.
And by the way, I just wanted to welcome Agnes on Facebook Live here from the Philippines. So thank you for joining in. I know it's nice and early for you. So wonderful. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Now, number two is, what is the intention of a system? What is a system all about? Right? You see this cute little kid kissing the mirror, all around him. And it's to represent you trying to duplicate the same model over and over and over and over and fit to infinity. That's another reason why Tammy and I have always did very well in this kind of business. And I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what company we're in, it doesn't matter where we live. I'm telling you that sooner or later, over time, we will grow again and we will build a massive organization. Because these principles are constants. So you need to create an environment. When I say you need to create, let me rephrase that. You need to participate into a system that is designed to duplicate the daily activities. Okay? And it's very important is sometimes people get wrapped up into the details of the science and the products. And is it important? Yes. But is that going to make a difference at the end of the day? I'm not sure. Now, having knowledge absolutely has value, but I can tell you that the most successful networkers, they're not professional in everything when it comes to the science and the products and everything else. They are professional in duplicating systems. That's where the millionaires are created. So don't get wrapped up into the detail. What matters is that you duplicate the process. The process that are the activities that will generate volume, that will actually make sales, that will get people to get involved, that will get people to participate in an event. As you know, this Thursday evening, I'll come back to that at the end, but we have a virtual presentation in Thursday evening at 8 p.m. So if you're not aware, now you are. And if you are, do you have anybody in your environment, even friends, even prospects, even people you might talk to, come and check this out. Come and listen to what they have to say, right? Are you duplicating the process of inviting? And that's the point here. The key to successful duplication is congruency and consistency. I'm telling you that every single leaders that have been successful with Max International have successfully duplicated in a congruent way and in a consistent way. Because if you start changing things around, then if you recall the couple with the map looking around trying to find their way, well, this is exactly what happened if there's too many systems and it's diversified. And this is the biggest challenge that I have in helping people earning an income with Max. Is everybody wants to have their own print, and I respect that. But until you actually make money, and until someone in your team makes money, follow the steps of someone else who has made money. And once you're there, then we can start developing new process and new systems. But I can tell you, as Tammy stated at the beginning, the system works. It really does. It doesn't have to be fancy. It simply has to bring results. But results will follow activities. And that's what's really important on what is a system or what's the intention of a system. Any thoughts, Tammy?
Yeah, and duplicating starts with you first. When you see the first circle with your name in it, well, if you can follow the process, again, you can teach and train other people to follow the process. So always look in the mirror, because you're the perfect example of what is being duplicated. So that, I mean, in some cases it can slap you in the face, right? When you think about it. So what are you doing on a daily basis? If you have a calendar, if you have a schedule, look at the schedule and the time slot that you have for your Max business, because not everybody does this full time. Look at that. What are you doing in that time slot? Are you doing the activities that are going to get you to the next pin rank, that's going to get you to the next level? Because if people see you doing it, then they'll want to duplicate that process. So it starts with you.
So Tammy, why don't we talk about, and I know you're very strong about this, is you want to empower activities activity, recognizing effort made towards any kind of activities. You want to touch on that?
It's funny because people will do more for recognition than they'll do to actually make money in the business. So knowing that, you want to spend time recognizing the people within your organization. Give them some high fives, give them some hearts, um, call them up, congratulate them on the steps that they're doing, even if they're really, really small steps, especially your new people. More than ever, it's the new people. They need that assurance that they're on the right track, doing the right activities. So if you haven't ignited your brand new person, the immediately, I always say to people when I'm training team members, most likely people will be gone in 90 days if you haven't moved them forward to do something towards their business within the first 30 days. And the key is to keep them in the next 30 days and keep them in the next 30 days. So how do you do that? You encourage them to take another step, encourage them to take another step, encourage them to take another step until they start to take the steps on their own. Okay, so lots of recognition within the organization.
And
And
remember that.
obviously, if
Go
they
ahead.
have rank advancements and stuff like that, honestly, you guys, Canva, if you don't have a Canva account, get one. You can get a free Canva account, and there's a bunch of free stuff in there where you can create some recognition stuff, and there's so many things that you can do to recognize people. So I highly recommend, when you do an event within a Zoom platform, recognize somebody who did something that week in front of the group. They need to be recognized. That's important.
I totally agree, Tammy. And any one of you who has any kind of achievement, I'm telling you, Tammy and I are going to be on this like a dog on a bone. I am not kidding. We'll be all over this, right? And this is one of the foundation of creating, first of all, long-term relationship, but in the same time to make people feel at ease and comfortable. And whenever people recognize that they've achieved something, and people around them recognize that, it creates what I like to say human deposit, human credibility deposit. So you help people to enhance their belief in themselves. So it's all combined. So all these things that we started from the beginning of this slides presentation this evening, these are all the steps and all the things, not individually, but combined, that makes the magic of creating culture into an organization. So very important. Many of you, when you introduce someone to the business, the first thing you do, and I really, really appreciate, I'm willing to work my schedule around that, is to recognize a new associate, especially if they came in with a pack of some kind, right? You recognize that very first step. I cannot stress this enough. So if someone new comes into your business, make sure that we know, so we can emphasize the recognition of their achievement and their decision. I cannot stress this enough. Now, here's what's really important, okay? When someone decides that they want to get started, okay, get them in. Get them in. Make sure they buy a pack. If someone's willing to pay the $25 to get in, and I understand there's exception to the rules where they want to have their position and they will get their products next week. I get all of that. But as we know, that $25 is waived once you get one of those packages. But encourage them to get a pack and set the auto ship. Some people say, oh, no, don't put me on auto ship. If they say that, they don't understand. Again, it goes back to the clarity. They don't understand the real power of this business venture. If they don't do the auto ship, I guarantee you that the people they'll bring in won't do their auto ship. And that is difficult to get someone started. So one, get them in. Get them to get a pack and get them started. Don't fear the fact that you may lose them because the packs are such or cost so much. If they're not willing to do it, they're not going to build a business anyway. So you might as well lose them at the beginning, than lose them 2-3 weeks or a month from now, or 2 months from now, or 3 months from now. I'm always very upfront. Yes, it's possible that some people may turn around and they may have a different agenda. That's okay. See, that means they're not qualified to work with me. I'm telling you, here's the way I look at myself. I'm a diamond producer. Tammy and I are diamonds producers. That's what I see. Of course, people have to decide to make that decision, but what I recognize is the people that tends to not be willing to commit to that, they tend to maybe fear a little bit my approach. I guarantee you that if someone wants to make money and they work with me, they will make money. Because I know I'm very upfront on what's required, what it needs. And I'm not saying you have to be me. What I'm saying, you have to be you. I'm giving you an example as to why I got so many diamonds. Why are we so high in our organization? Why are we top income earners in our company? That's why. Get them started. Get them with a pack. Put them on ownership and get them started, and make sure they understand the duplication process. That is absolutely, absolutely key.
Yeah, I got not just prospects, Chris, associates too. I have an associate that I trained for the first time today. Just lots of things going on in her life. She had traditional business and just moved to Canada, and many things came into play, but she's ready to get started. So we set her up on her auto order, and I mentioned to her that if she wants to build this business and do it the right way, you need to engage in packages, those little intro packs. Make those packages. You get 8 of them, and as you run out, you order another box, which has got the 2 boxes of Celgevity, 1 box of Enfuse, 1 box of ATP with the marketing stuff. Put your packages together and get these products in people's hands. Now you're in business. Now, if you got products that you're just consuming in your household, how the heck can you build a business? You need products on you. I always have packages made. When Chris and I travel, I always have packages in my carry-on, in my suitcase, because
Yeah, I can
just
testify.
never know. Yeah, I'm actually giving Chris some. Here, you take some too.
Yeah, I should say, Chris, take these products. We're going to Zanzibar. We may come across someone.
Everywhere you go, you're going to meet people. And it's like, if you don't have your open sign on, your hat on, whatever, if you don't have it on, then you're not in business. We always say, let's do max while we do life, because everybody says they're too busy to take 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever. We'll do max while you do life. And we do this all the time. I always have packages ready to go, because you just never know who you're going to meet. So think about that when you want to build this business. And what are you duplicating right now within your teams?
If I may suggest, if some of you have someone who's about to get started, and I know often you think that Tammy and I are too busy. I'm never too busy to enroll someone new for you. That is why I work this business. Exactly for that. So invite us to be part of maybe the end of your webinar, or have a conversation with someone in your team. If you do this, I assure you that your sign-up ratio will quadruple. If you do that. I'm not saying that every time people will sign up, but I can tell you the ratio is quite high if you do the right activities. Sometimes Tammy and I have done some wonderful calls with some associates, and they were ready to move forward, and we follow up in the morning and they didn't. And why they didn't? It's because the person started pedaling back, and they said things that made them think twice to follow through. And that's the reason why the person was not put in the system. My recommendation is, after the call is done, get the information immediately. Get them in. Get them to get a pack, put them on auto ship, and get them started. And if they don't want to, for whatever reason, it's okay. We're not going to twist their arms, but often they don't because they don't understand the reasoning behind it. They're more concerned about my credit card getting stuck somewhere. But if they understand the benefits behind it, they will turn around and rethink the idea of why I need to be on auto ship. And then you get them started right. So, which brings me to this slide. You see, you want to be enthusiastic. Okay? Very important. Enthusiasm is show excitement. And I'm telling you again, 80% of what you say is how you say it. Mm-hmm. See, Tammy and I often we will present, and at the end of presentation, I hear, "Oh, I sign up this person, sign up this person, sign up this person," and others may be doing the presentation, and it might be wonderful, but the way they said it did not create a conviction. My advice to help you evolve and improve on that is follow webinars of people that are passionate about it and start mimicking. And I'm not saying that you want to change who you are, but you might be able to improve your words. Or even if, let's say you're a person that never says, "Are you ready to get started?" You never say that, right? But start saying it. Do you know what I mean? And over time, say it with enthusiasm, right? And this is how you evolve. You can't be afraid of them reaching the finish line if we're talking in the context of someone getting involved and getting the package. And often people are afraid to ask for the money. Folks, this money that are invested, it's not a waste of money like you're buying. Oh, I shouldn't say a waste of money, because I know that shoes are really important, and especially the colors and the style and everything. I get it. But what I'm talking about here, this is something that will actually gives you residual, that will give you another source of income. This is super powerful. And if people understand that through your conviction on how you said it, it's the reason why someone will decide to get part of this venture, is how you said it. And if you're not comfortable at that point, then invite someone that's in your upline leadership. That's the key here. That's really important to understand. Any other points you want to add to this, Tam?
Oh, it's so true. If you're on fire about and passionate about what you have in your hands, people buy you first. Always remember that. People buy your excitement, they buy your passion, they buy your motivation, they buy that first, because often they don't have this in their lives. And that's why they're looking, you guys. That is why they're looking. They want something that they don't have. And if you're passionate about what you have, people want it. It's that simple. So if you're not a person who's enthusiastic, start getting enthusiastic. Do whatever it takes. Listen to some pumped up Tony Robbins motivational stuff. Start listening to people that are out of your comfort zone and start jumping up and down a little bit before you start connecting with them. Get some energy. If you notice here, I've got this stand-up table now because I'm more enthusiastic about when I'm training or when I'm connecting with somebody when I'm in movement. When I sit down, I'm not as energetic. So find your energy and share that with people. Because I can tell you often when I'm talking to people on a Zoom coffee chat, they say, they often say, "Oh my gosh, you're so passionate about what we have." I said, "You would be too if you'd be on this stuff. You would be too if you were part of this. You would be too if you were on the trips that we just came back from."
I totally agree.
Can you feel the energy right now, you guys? Just
absolutely.
In
this. Fact, I want your office, Tammy. We need to switch because I'm stuck in that little box.
Okay, we can switch when you need to do a Zoom session. That's the deal.
My wall is right here, and I mean, I can't move. Where Tammy has she has so much space. My love, we have to rotate sometimes.
I'm in.
But this is the point. You see, this is really, really, really important. Now, the next slide here, it's about mentoring. Because this is also another reason why we've been so blessed and fortunate with a powerful, powerful team around the world. And the thing is, I take the time to mentor the ones that are knocking. I'm telling you, the ones that wants it, they knock. You know, there's an expression, knock and the door shall open. Well, this is what happens. And what I did to help you here, because I understand that some of you may be looking for different kind of mentoring, and I took some of the major websites that Tammy and I have paid for. We have followed them for years, and they've been part of who we are today. Integral part of our base foundation, right? Network Marketing Pro with Eric Worre, John C. Maxwell. It's part of most of my trainings. In fact, tomorrow we're having a 2-day leadership session from 12 o'clock to 8 p.m. It gets sore on your butt at the end of the day. But you know what? It's all about learning and evolving, right? And that's part of the Eric Worre program that he offers. I understand not everybody's willing to spend this kind of money to invest in it, and that's okay. But I want you to at least be aware. That's my job. Your job is to decide, do I want to do this? There's John C. Maxwell. There's incredible books. This guy has such a wealth of information that I really appreciate. Jim Rohn, I mean, this is the guy I used to listen to when I was so discouraged and I was driving from Ottawa to Toronto. That's when I used to live in Ottawa and was driving to Toronto and commute on a regular basis, coming in, driving 4.5 to 5 hours, only to find out none of my guests showed up and then went back with empty, you know, so many times. But look at today. And I listened to this guy and I learned. And my car was my sanctuary. This is where I was learning and evolving. I was in a car for like 8 hours, if you think about it. And I would listen to this over and over and over and over. Just recently, this one over here is Hugo. We call him Hugo. It's easier for North American, but it's Hugo Chukwu. Okay, that's his name. He's a wonderful leader, very passionate. I really, really appreciate who he is and what he represents as a leader. And he's Nigerian. He lives in Nigeria. And this is someone that Tammy and I have recently decided to connect with and also purchase some of his mentoring. Phenomenal guy. And because of all this information that we've acquired, well, you know what? Active Team Group is Chris and Tammy. You may know us really well, and because of that, something, it's Chris and Tammy. But the reality is we got so much information that if we sit together and we start chatting and exchanging, you're going to find a lot of information that we can share with you that can really help you, right? So really important is mentoring has been an instrumental part as to why we are top income earners in our companies.
Yeah, I remember the early days when we were building, and even still, I mean, we're not in our car all that much anymore, but even when we listen to things, it's always listening to something that can advance us in personal growth. And all of these links here, if you look at all of these links, if you look up all of these people, for those of you who especially are new and don't have a lot of resources to invest in, we always say when you want to build this type of business, you want to invest in yourself, do little purchases of this and that. But if you go to YouTube, there's a lot of little segments that you can get, like John C. Maxwell. Subscribe to some of these people on social media so you can get some daily motivation, some daily inspiration. Motivational comes from within, but you can get inspired to be motivated to go out and do something that's going to make a difference in your life. So I remember when I was new, I was just learning just little things here and there that would elevate me. Now we invest big numbers because we want bigger results. So remember, it's a journey and it's always a step higher. So personal growth has to be in your calendar in getting to that next level.
Awesome. And by the way, folks, if we find what we're sharing with you is helpful, click the emotion icon on the bottom of your screen and give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up if you feel that what we're sharing is helpful. Because I'm telling you, it's the foundation as to why we've always reached top income earners with our network marketing company. Not that I've done many, 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 because when I married, I married. And Max International is our choice, and we're married for the rest of our lives. This is our commitment, right? So thank you for responding. And this is so important, so important. Now, as we move forward, now I hope you had a time to take these links here. These are really important links, folks. I'm not kidding. Just click on them and get to know who they are. There's a lot of information on their site. And this is something that, as a mentor, I like people to also go outside and discover themselves over and above what we share. And in return, often they come back to me and they say, you know what, Chris, a lot of the stuff you shared and you talked about, we've been working together, I hear it again and again. That's because we're not creating this stuff. We also have learned it from someone once upon a time. So I hope you take note of these, and you're going to go visit those sites and see something that resonates well for you. If it's a book, if it's a video, a lot of this stuff is also free. If you go to YouTube, they do that because as YouTube viewers increases, the person that owns the channel, which could be one of those guys, also get paid. So sometimes they have some really good free knowledge material there that you can benefit from. Okay. Now here's another point. And that, I was talking to Paul Testament today, and I know that he's building a new team, and he's seeing the challenges of the new market and everything else. And I'm talking about Paul Testament here. And what happens is empathy is something that has been instrumental in the reason why I've been able to save my organization when sometimes it feels like it was doomsday, because of the inflation and the price change. And I mean, we could go on and on and on with problems. But the empathy is the ability to understand and share the feeling of others. So in other words, a great quote here from Stephen Covey that I shared on a previous training that we've done on radical duplication, it applies here too, is seek first to understand and then be understood. Now, once you do that, and you're talking to your leadership, and you understand why they're upset, and next thing you know, or they're not happy about something, and next thing you know, you go into, for example, the corporate aspect, and then they're also not impressed with maybe the behavior of a leader because maybe something was said or sent or so because they were upset, only to realize that it was a lack of clarity on a situation. But how do you find that out, and how do you communicate that in both parties? It's through empathy. And through that empathy, it creates a bridge where you can establish communication. And once the bridge is established, you step back and you let both parties talking. I'm just giving you one example out of many examples about empathy and how it can be applied in your life, because it can happen with your husband, your wife, your children. We could go on and on and on. But that's the point. And that's the habit number 6 or 5 or 4, I forgot the order, of the habit of highly successful people, right? So this is what I mean is the more informed and educated you are in reference to what the rich people do, the successful people do, the wonderful people in this world do, and you start mimicking what they do, guess what? It will be a reflection in your life. No wonder the people that are doing this get good results. Right? These are constants. Seeks first to understand and then be understood. Now, Tammy, I know you have some great information here.
Yeah, and just going back to that really quickly, Chris, is
you want me to go back to that slide?
Yeah, because this is important, because we all deal with this. Often you have people that come in and they don't, or they start and they stop, or they're not engaged at the beginning. It's important to have conversations with them and find out why they're having challenges, find out why they're stuck. And as you listen and understand where they're at, ask them, what are some solutions that you think could be helpful for you to be able to get out of this, or to be able to find more time to do your business, or to be able to, so it's not just listening and that's it. I mean, is helping them get over that hurdle. The reason everybody is where they are, is stuck where they are, wherever they're at in their rank or whatever it is, their situations. It's because obviously they don't know how to get to that next level. They really don't, and they need help. And if we don't reach out to the team members, and you guys reaching out to your team members, then you can't get them over that hurdle, right? You can't help them get over it, but always ask them what they feel could be a way for them to get over it. Let them speak it and encourage them to do it, and help create some accountability, encouraging them to do it. Does that make sense? Thumbs up if it makes sense.
It certainly does. It certainly does. And
Right.
I'm really really appreciative of the feedback I'm reading here from the Philippines. It's wonderful, and thank you for being here with us. So what's important here to understand is, again, investing into your relationship. Tammy, talk about creating culture, because I know you did something wonderful with the white shirts and the jeans that we also did in Zanzibar.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to do something different and not always have the same thing. And creating culture and fun, these memories will last a lifetime. And it didn't take a lot of energy when you think about it. We threw out a quick flyer, quick Canva flyer, did a small event, potluck, did a small training, and we just hung out. We all ate together. We did photo shoot together. And that memory that we've done will last for a long time. I mean, I go back and look at pictures years ago and I go, oh my gosh, it was like yesterday, right? And that's what you want to do in creating culture within your team. So be creative, find different ways, different seasons. As you know, I was looking at the slideshow that Chris put together today. I'm thinking Halloween's coming. So what can you do, right? Like there's things coming up. What can you do to create some fun, create a color code? You know who's really good at this stuff is the Philippines. And then, of course, Africa, we saw a lot of that within groups. You know, they have the same shirts, they have the same color, they have, you know, and they do fitness activities, they do all this stuff. Well, start creating some type of culture. It doesn't matter if there's only one or two people and yourself that get involved. Maybe some sidelines would want to get involved and be part of it. You can invite other people to create more fun. Invite guests into this. Often people are looking for a community. Chris, the new prospect that you were talking about was about women in community. So it's important for people. Okay, so think of all kinds of things that you can create and talk to your team members and say, what do you guys think? You know, would you want to do it this month, and I'll create something next month? But come together with your group and not always be the one initiating, but get your team members involved in doing some fun things. And after we did that, I know Paul, yourself and Bill and Linda and Sue were together, and you guys did your own little thing. So that was fun. And then we did something in Zanzibar. And, you know, it's the whole month of October, by the way. Blue jeans, white shirt. If you get together with team members, one-on-one, whatever, do some crazy stuff on a photo shoot. Build culture.
Dead on. And as we end this segment of the presentation here for this evening, is there's three important rules. Number one, make sure that you're 100 present in your presentation. Don't focus on your cell phone. If you're presenting to someone, especially if you're one-on-one, turn the cell phone on its face, put it aside, don't put it on vibrate or turn the phone off, and concentrate 100% of your time with your prospect. And listen. Listen to what they tell you. Because if you pay attention to what they tell you, they will tell you what they need to hear to be able to move forward towards your opportunity, towards the business venture, which obviously you're probably sharing the max opportunity, right? So the fact is, listen to what they tell you as you are presenting and be authentic. Really important. Especially today. You know what really sells in videos? is people that are authentic. People can feel their heart. They can feel them. These are the people that tend to get a lot of attention. And only focus on productive activities. What I mean by that is if you want to be successful in Max, you got to focus on the activities that are in line with your goals. So you got to keep that in mind. So you can't say, well, we're not making money in this kind of business. That's not true. There is millions being made. People are making millions in this kind of business. Why are they and you're not? They're not from a different planet. They're exactly born on the same planet with all the same prerequisite of a human body. We all have them. It's the mindset or attitude towards what we want and how important what we want is for us that will determine how focused we will be in doing the productive activities. And that's really important. And it's okay to have some downtime, folks, right? We're not robots. We need some downtime. That is also important. But focus on the productive activity if you want results. And number 3 is stay resourceful. Be aware of what you are building and sharing, and be aware of the surrounding around these, like events, and read books in reference to personal growth when it comes to leadership. Evolve. And when you do, the people that you present to and you share to, they will be around you, and they're comfortable. They feel good around you because you make them feel good, right? All of that is part of the personal growth that over time we've acquired. And many of you have these skills, and maybe it's just dormant because you never really had the opportunity to utilize them. This kind of business, I'm telling you, it is one of those, this environment that really makes people better human beings. I am not kidding. When someone looks down at network marketing, for me is, if you only knew. It's an education process. And if they're not willing to look at it, they don't qualify to work with me. That's the way I look at it. So I'm saving their time and my time of aggravation because their mindset is not there. So don't try to convince someone who's not interested. Educate them. And if they're willing to cross the fence because now I see what you're talking about, that could be the moment where now they're willing to get started, get a pack, right? And get their auto ship and put them to the process of duplicating the duplicatable system. And that's what this means. 3 very, very important rules. Anything that you want to finish with, Tammy, as we end the slide?
Yeah, we're good. Let's move on to the events. I'm looking at the time here. So as we all know, we have an event coming up on Thursday for the North American market for our virtual convention. If you haven't registered, make sure you go to register. Chris is underlining that right now. and if you go to blog.max.com, you'll see that as well.
Actually, Tammy, that link here, let me see if I can, I'll bring that up. And let me just share my screen so I can point to it directly. Here we go.
If you've already registered, just thumbs up.
I don't know, Tammy, if there's a registration. I think it's just a time to show up. It's a Zoom session here. Let's click on it, see what happens. Right, it takes you right there, right? Obviously, I'm in a Zoom session. That maybe I shouldn't do that. I don't want to lose you guys. No, I don't want to leave. Okay. No. Let's come back. Okay, let's do this again. Okay. So this is a link right here, and as a matter of fact,
I saved it on my calendar. That's good.
Yes, that's right. So the fact here, folks, it's here. Okay, and let me just kind of cut and paste it. Let me just take this down. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna cut and paste that link and make it available in the chat section. Copy and put it right here in the comment section. Okay, so you have it right there. Okay, so right now all you need to do is click on it and bookmark it and make sure that you're available there. And the times, let's see here to confirm, United States, Canada, Puerto Rico on the 21st, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. So this is 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, it's a little bit late, but folks, this is what it is. Are you willing? Are you committed to this opportunity? You want to make a difference, and don't show up alone. Don't show up alone. That's the reason why I put that slide there, because we're not just talking about the promotion of the event. We're talking about the steps that Tammy and I have been doing for a long, long time. Is the reason why we're having the success that we're having over here, right? So these are basically the dates for the different markets, and it's all part of the process. And let me just kind of get rid
so
of
the
this.
key, everybody, is how many people you're going to get to attend this event, whether it's existing associates, maybe you have some prospects that are in the pipeline. This could be the event that's going to get them to make a positive decision in getting started with the business. So start writing down the names. Spend the next couple days working just on this. Invite. And the key is always to have more people at the next event than you did at the last event. So this is your time to make sure that every team member, you can ignite some people that are not aware of it. Number one, that have not been active. Maybe they're consumers of the products, but haven't been really active in showing up at trainings, and ignite them. I know I did that a couple times today. Imagine if every single one of us were doing this, a couple hours a day, how many people you could get involved in these conventions. So
Dead on.
yeah.
So in closing, Tammy, for example, I've mentioned that Tammy and I are presenting on a daily basis, and I'm getting talking to prospects on a daily basis, and here's the thing here, folks. Every single week, they receive several emails from me, even if they're not interested. I know, Scott Anderson, we talked about this before, is every time I speak to a prospect, they end up in my database. Every single one of them, interested or not. And I do ask permission. They know they're in my database. And what happens is every week they get a reminder of the training calls that we do on Monday night. And as you know, in the training calls, there is a series of links for the upcoming week webinar during the week. There's the one on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. There's one on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. There's one on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. There's also two of them in French, which there's one on Friday, which I believe they're 4 p.m. Eastern, because in Africa, which the French market, it happens to be either 8 o'clock, I believe. And I think there's another one on Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it's on Wednesday. But it's on the active team calendar. Okay, so every week people receive that, and my prospects receive that all the time. And not only do they receive this, but also on the Thursday when I do my presentation, I send them my link. I invite them to come in and join me. And from time to time, some people will come in for 5 minutes. Some people will stay for the entire thing. Some people will actually just kind of watch the recorded version. And this is the key, is to constantly keep people informed and always follow up with people. You never know when the time will be right. So on this note, I want to thank you all for attending this webinar this evening. And I also wanted to finish, when Tammy and I are not available for a webinar, but the webinar is still booked. I know some of you bookmark the actual link in the webinar room, which is the active team room, which is this one that you're all in this evening. There's a reason why I created two links. I wanted to mention that before we finish the call. On Monday night, the link is called gofordiamondtraining.com. You got to be aware that if Tammy and I are traveling and it's not, and you're going to your link that you saved, okay, that you usually go to attend our webinars, remember that on the flyer, it's go to webinartraining.com. So if I change the link, because the link is going to a webinar jam, which we pre-recorded our training, and it has been scheduled to air at a certain time, that's the reason why if you go to the link you save, nothing happens, because we're not there live. Okay, so always remember, bookmark the link, which is gofordiamondtraining.com, not the actual webinar ID. Just that way you don't miss out on an event that we're doing. And same thing on Thursday, right? So usually it's activeteamwebinar.com. But if we're not there and it's pre-recorded and that's actually going on the webinar jam, that means that we did a session or a past session and it's actually pre-recorded and it's scheduled to air at a certain time during the week on, for example, on the Thursday, 8 p.m. So this is going to be on the activeteamtraining.com. So again, if you click on the saved webinar link that you have on your own system, then of course we won't be there. So I just wanted to mention that because I know that there was a few messages that came across while we were traveling, but it was like, so I think it was 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning, and you know, there's no way I'm gonna wake up to answer all of those. So I just wanted to remind everybody of that, okay? So thank you again for attending this evening. We really, really appreciate your time. And if you happen to be on Facebook Live, thank you for your attendance. And have a great, great evening, everybody, and a great week. And don't forget, this coming Thursday, we're not presenting the opportunity. We're all going to be at the session on the Facebook Live that Max is hosting. Okay? Good night, everyone.
Invite, 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 promote, promote, promote. See you.